Hello. Today is Thursday, November 3rd. It is the month of thankfulness. Okay, I'm feeling very thankful. I hope you are too. I'm thankful for the challenge and for all of our favorite shows. And tonight we're going to be discussing two episodes. I think it's precious, right? It's so nice.
You're precious. Very sweet.
We've got a double feature tonight. Double the dailies.
Ooh.
A daily double. Double the elimination. We will be discussing episode 3 and 4 of the Challenge 38, Ride or Dies. And I am freaking pumped. We had some good stuff in this. Hold on, I'm stalling because I'm looking for the opening theme. Here we go. All righty. All right, once again, today is Thursday, November 3rd. My name is John Dunphy, and I am joined, as always, by my Ride or Dies, Miss Gina Morgino and Mr. Kyle Petty. We are the Strat Chat Podcast, your favorite reality TV podcast. If you want to find us on the socials, you can do so at Strat Chat Pod. Take a look at the little ticker down at the bottom of the screen there, at Strat Chat Pod. It's on Twitter and Instagram. Or you can check out our website, which is stratchatpod.com. All right, I am ready to talk some Challenge Ride or Dies. I don't know about you guys.
I'm ready.
Right? We got to start at the beginning of episode 3. So basically, this feels like a very long time ago, but at this point, Turbo and Tamara have just left the game. And TJ has brought in a couple more vets, a couple more legends of the game. Jordan and Aneesa. I do want to briefly talk about this Ride or Die duo, though, and kind of get you guys, your guys' opinion on this, because we've seen some rumors out there that this is not how these pairs were supposed to go. We've commented and some confusion about, like, are they actually Ride or Dies? Because I don't necessarily think so, and even TJ himself in this episode actually referred to them more as frenemies. Friends who had, a rough history, had been enemies at times. So what do you guys think about this? And have you heard about some of the, the stuff that some of the controversy? It's not really controversy, I guess, but some of the reasons why they ended up together as opposed to being with partners that they were originally going to be with. Are you guys totally filled in on that stuff?
Well, I obviously can't speak on like their past or their relationship together. That's more a Kyle question. But like, yeah, it was around the time that we heard that like Kenny and Casey had left the game. There was also, talk on whether they would be back and whether COVID caused other people's Ride or Dies to leave the game. And then, like, was she always in it, or did she enter late with Jordan? Did she actually enter late with Jordan, or did she re-enter late with Jordan and they edited her out of the previous episodes? I really don't know what to make of this.
Yeah.
That's what we read on Twitter, right?
Uh-huh.
That Aneesa originally had some partner and Jordan had some partner, and some kind of flarn happened. And they re-edited everything to make it look as if they were just always planned late entries. And we get Jordan and Aneesa. I gotta say, I don't buy it.
No.
There was really no evidence of Jordan and Aneesa having any kind of relationship other than, people who like played the game together. I wouldn't even really have called them enemies either. Just a neutral thing.
So when you say you don't buy it, you don't buy that they were in and then like COVID caused them to re-enter, or you don't buy that they're Ride or Dies?
I don't buy that they're Ride or Dies. I believe that they would probably trust each other. I don't think they have any active reason not to. So it's a relationship that should work,
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy that they were always supposed to come in together. No, I do believe that there's some truth to, there was some kind of a mix up, and they really, really wanted the Tori Jordan storyline. And they said, you know what, maybe this works in our favor because we've already have Tori and Aneesa as good friends to begin with.
Because I think what we read was that Jordan was always going to enter late. It just wasn't going to, or Maybe I'm making
Something
that
like
up.
that. Like, I
Because
don't, yeah, I don't
Jordan, I
know.
didn't hear that Jordan was already there. I heard that Anissa was there with somebody else.
Right.
And then she re-entered with Jordan as if she was always with Jordan. But I don't know if Jordan was supposed to be on the season or not. Like, I don't know if
I
Jordan's
feel like
partner also had COVID or whatever.
I don't know what the situation with Jordan's partner was or what the discourse was around that. I just don't totally buy this relationship supposedly being so tight between Jordan and Anissa. I guess I can also make room for the possibility that, like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we don't see. And if Tori and Anissa truly are as close as they say they are, then there's no way that Anissa doesn't have some kind of relationship with Jordan.
Right.
You know, but we're not ride or die.
Right.
I don't know.
Frenemy feels more correct.
Sure. Yeah.
Now I have an article here from Showbiz Cheat Sheet. Okay.
Oh, hello, Showbiz Cheat Sheet.
Yeah, and they kind of lay out some things here. Apparently, Anissa was supposed to be originally playing this game with her bestie, James Simon, who I'm not familiar with. Do you guys know James?
Literally only from this controversy.
Okay, yeah. And apparently there was some drama last minute. The cast had left for Argentina. Production shut down only 4 days later due to COVID exposure. And the whole cast was forced back into quarantine. When production resumed, James did not return. And from what I'm also reading here is that Jordan was originally supposed to be with Nia Moore. And it looks like they were going to be entering the game late, Jordan and Nia. And it's not listed as COVID. It just says that Nia had a major health scare. And so basically when Anissa lost her partner, Jordan lost his partner.
I did hear this.
Yeah.
A lot, like you said, Kyle. I'm sure they wanted that Tori Jordan.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
yeah. No, come hella high water. We're going to get it.
So definitely an interesting entrance into the game for Jordan and Anissa. I don't know if it's true that she was ever on the season and they edited her out. That was something that I read. I don't know about that, but there was definitely some funny business going on. But so yeah, they come in. Obviously, you know, they have some catching up to do, getting settled into the house. But yeah, I guess it's probably good to just go into the first daily challenge, right? Because most of what we saw after this was just a lot of chatter in the house. So nothing crazy though. And the first daily challenge that we'll be talking about tonight was called Build Me Up. Build Me Up. This was kind of a fun one. All the challengers, they went in 2 heats. They were on this very big field, and there were 3 stations in each lane. They had different lanes that each team had to go in. And each lane had 3 stations with sort of like a flare at the top that you would set off with a button. So you and your partner had to take the barrels. There were 6 barrels. You had to carry them all one at a time to each station and then stack them up and hit your button. Okay.
Kyle, I cannot deal with the pantomime of
I enjoy it.
No, it's great. It gets me every time.
It's now a thing. It wasn't supposed to be, but
no, I like it.
Thank you.
No.
Get to live my flight attendant dreams. So never be small enough to actually be one.
So, you know, once you got your 6 barrels to each station and hit all the flares, you then had to take those barrels to the end of the finish line and stack them up. Whoever did it first would be the winner. The first winner from Heat 1 was Fessel and Mariah. What are we calling him? Is it Fessel? Are we still saying Fessy? What are we doing here?
I mean, everyone on the show seems to flip-flop between it, so I don't think it necessarily makes a difference.
Yeah, I think it's interchangeable. No.
Okay.
No.
And the winners of Heat 2 were Johnny and Raven. So they were, you know, still competing very well. Even with all the drama that's been surrounding them, they seem to perform pretty well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to talk about the drama? Or do you want to wait?
That's kind of a club night, isn't it? That's probably really comes in. Yeah, we'll wait.
Okay. So it came down to these two. Obviously, you know, this could have gone 2 very different directions depending on who won this. Because if Johnny and Raven had won it, you know, they'd be taking a shot at a big bet again. But it ended up being Fessel and Mariah taking the win. So this was a fun. What did you guys think of this challenge? Did you like it? It's kind of exciting, right? What'd you think of Tommy and Annalise's performance? I feel like we're going to talk about them a lot tonight.
We are going to talk about them a lot today. Just these poor sweet angels are just so in over their head when it comes to these competitions. Like,
Yeah.
Big Brother did not prepare them for what was coming on the challenge.
No,
not at all. Not at all.
So
But so Fessel and Mariah had to go back to the house, deliberate, and choose 4 teams that they wanted to interrogate. They chose Raven and Johnny, Annalise and Tommy, Olivia and Horacio, and Colleen and Kim. Literally all rookies, not a single vet in there.
right.
Which I actually thought was interesting because I feel like even when the rookies had power in that first week, they still put some rookies in there. You know what I mean? Like it was that was interesting to me. So what did you think of these picks?
It made good sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, I mean, for their game, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just it's still weird to me to kind of see Fessy as a vet. That's still not really where I place him, you know. And that's kind of where he's trying to put himself. And I think that's part of what this move is about. Even to your point about, you know, we saw the rookies before they even at least put some rookies in. You weren't going to get that here because Fessy really wants to align himself that way. And he wants that respect on his name.
Yeah.
I don't see him there. I still see that, you know, there's like these middle people. I don't know. Like, they're not rookies, but they're not vets. So, like, I don't know. That's where I put my Fessels and my Caseys and my you know, my people like that. Yeah, I don't know. You're just not there yet.
You know, Casey's such an right. Casey's such like an interesting one to me too, because like she's not that vocal, but like I still definitely think of her as more of a rookie. But like, you know, she's won the game. She is in a relationship with Nany, you know, who is clearly on the vet side. Like Casey's in a really interesting position.
She is. She is.
I kind of would like to see her win a daily, you know.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But
now this
anyway, yes, this would make good sense for their game. Yes.
Yeah. And this now took us into the first club night, which I was mentioning. There were a few things about this that were interesting. First, I guess I'll just bring up what did you think of Tommy and Annalise's big play here to talk to 2 of the other teams that they were going into the zone with, possibly would have to face an elimination. And they made deals with both Kim and Colleen and Horacio and Olivia that if Tommy and Annalise, if they picked the safe dagger, that they would save both duos. They made this promise to both of them. And I'm just thinking, why? Like, and in that moment,
because
I'm like,
they're playing Big Brother and they don't understand what else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my first thought was they better not pull that safe dagger.
Because I think they, in their head, are still in the mode of like, oh, it's okay. I'll set myself up with everybody. I'll throw the competition so I never have to show my cards. This isn't that kind of a situation. There is a 1 in 3 shot of you pulling that dagger, and you have to put up or shut up. Like,
yeah, this is not that game.
Right.
As we saw.
I could just smell what happened. I could smell it coming from a mile away. Like it was just, of course, this is how it's gonna go. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there.
Of course, we had the usual Raven and Johnny drama. I don't know if this is a good time to get into because we're still going to be talking about them for a bit, I think. But
no, I mean, it's always fine. Raven is just, I feel bad for her because I think that she's going to rewatch this and be a little embarrassed. I think she's going to be a little embarrassed, you know, because this is not about, she didn't come on this game to play this game. She came on this game to kind of get back with Johnny in some kind of way and rekindle something. She was looking for a little bit more out of this. And when she wasn't getting it, then also she's like, you're not playing the game with me. And it's like, it's like, I don't know, you using the game as a way to spend extra time. She's like, I just want you to spend time with me. She goes, and I want you to hug me and hold me and tell me it's gonna be okay. I'm like, this is really cringy. Like, yeah.
And you're so right. You're so right, because she has even said multiple times that, like, you know, me and Johnny talked before the season and said we were going to work on our relationship. And it's like, this girl's head does not seem to be in the game. It seems to be
right.
Yeah.
This is not,
So-
what's that show? Rehab Retreat? Celebrity Rehab.
Not Celebrity Rehab. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rehab Retreat. Don't mind me.
So the other thing that stuck out to me at club night was the conversation between Tori and Jordan, because I've enjoyed kind of hearing Tori talk about some of the stuff she's gone through with her mental health. As somebody who's struggled with their own mental health, right? Like, hearing her kind of talk about her struggles, what things have been like for her, and how she's gotten help and really worked on herself, and then sort of just being like totally, thrown off by this late entrance of Jordan. And she said to him, like, you came to this game late knowing I was going to be here. I was in this game having no idea that you were going to show up.
Mhm.
And, I've been dealing with a lot of this stuff, kind of getting over things that happened with us. And so hearing this conversation, seeing them both get emotional, because there was a point where I wasn't sure which direction this would go, because they're at club night, they're drinking, maybe Tori says something and Jordan gets angry. And it ended up being a really nice moment, I thought. Like, and Kyle, like, we obviously know Tori and Jordan very well from watching them for years. Like, what did you think of this moment? I've been interested to ask you for your opinion.
There was a point in the conversation where I thought that this was going to go south.
Mhm.
But the second that Tori then said, all of these things caused me to now have this relationship with Fessel that I now so regret, and I am so sorry for that. Like, I thought it was great because she was truly just sharing how she felt. And it was like, this is just what my experience was in this. This is how you made me feel. And I know that I made you feel badly by doing this. And I own that and I apologize. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And something
Even
that we
when
did
she
not
was-
deserve to watch. This was like,
Yeah,
this should
it
not
did feel a
been-
little intrusive on our part. Yeah.
yeah, we should not have been watching this. It almost feels like strange to like discuss it. like who are we? But yeah.
Right.
I
Even-
did think it was a great moment. It
Even
felt
just in her
very good.
just in her mental health piece to the conversation, like, I feel like so often when things like this get brought up, it can be inauthentic, or like, people will try to like get away with things by saying, no, like, it's my mental health, and they'll try to like whatever. She
Mhm.
was so like vulnerable and open and honest about, like, listen, this is what I'm going through, this is how I'm, and this is like the conversation that we need to see more of, because I
Yeah.
feel like so often, like, when things like this happen with public figures, it's some sort of a deflection, as opposed to like, no, I genuinely am struggling with this is how I'm getting through it, and this is like, it's an important conversation to be having.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you guys that, like, in a way it feels intrusive because these are real life things. Like, we're watching a competitive game show where,
Even like her talking about it didn't feel intrusive, but the second the two of them were having the conversation together, I was like, I'm not supposed to watch this.
Yes.
Yeah. But I do also really agree with you guys. I think that was like a big thing for me, was like, she was telling Jordan how she felt and kind of letting him know maybe certain things that he did or said that hurt her, but was not shying away at all from like her own sins that she had committed, like the whole thing with
Responsibility,
Fessy
yeah.
and everything. Yeah. And so I just thought this was like a great moment. I really, really liked this.
It was a great conversation.
Yeah.
And
And
thank
kind
you
of
guys
seeing
for
some of
sharing
the,
that with us. Thank you.
yeah.
If they watch this, they won't.
Yeah. I really love, I mean, just in general though, I mean, I feel like Tori has been so open about things, and like, I love how like,
it's refreshing.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's really nice. I'm a big fan of Tori, so.
Yeah, we stand.
Oh, absolutely. So, all right. I guess we're pretty much right at the first elimination now. So we get to the zone.
Well, wait.
Oh,
Before
am
we
I
get into
skipping
anything,
something?
no. I just know Kyle had some sort of a
Oh.
take on club nights that I don't want to skip
That's
over.
right. That's right.
I thought it could be even better once we get to the second episode, because that's really what was blaringly obvious to me.
Do we want to
But-
put a pin in it?
No, it's
We
fine.
can wait.
These club nights are painful to me because there are some exchanges that happen and there's no music playing. Do you notice that? They're just in a room talking, and it
Yeah.
takes me out of it so much, because all I can do is think about how awkward it must be to stand in the room Like all I do is think about like, oh my gosh, like there's probably like cameras over there, like a weird light, because this is probably just like some warehouse that just hung up all these things. And before I know it, I've missed conversations because I'm thinking about how awkward this room must be with just like a light that just moves around. Next time you watch it, just like think of it that way, and you'll cringe too. It's a really weird thing, like to get them to have these. I understand it's to get them to have these conversations, like old school challenge, because they used to go to clubs and like go to restaurants and do stuff like that. But these,
well,
ever
and that's what's
since
so funny to
COVID,
me is like, you're right, because I remember you guys talking about it like, no, like there would be drama because like random people would get involved.
yes,
And like that I understand why that's interesting, but this of like just like everybody that we've already seen in a house now just get moved to another house and drink more.
Yes, and the quality of it is dropping every season. Like this last episode, there wasn't even music playing. It's just like it just sounded like a warehouse. Yes, it was so obvious to me, and I was like, I can't. This is painful.
It looked like they were in like a brewery or something to me.
Yeah, it was
had those
weird.
Big barrels.
Yes,
I don't know,
and it just sounded so empty. It was just weird.
But we have talked about this before, and I know, Kyle, you've said this, and I 100% agree. I miss the days of the cast going out to random bars and getting into fights with people, CT blowing up on some random dude or like something like that. Like, just some great.
And then he comes back fired up, and then they get into a fight with somebody else at the house. Like just that real life element to it. And even if you're not mixing it up with other people, then like put them back on like, we used to go to Mexico when it was warm, and like you'd have these rooftop parties. Remember those? And they'd be outside and have those balconies, these amazing views. Can we go back to that? We're always in jackets now. It's always cold. And it's like, come on, like let's get back to like having a little bit more fun with these, not these whack ass manufactured club nights. That's put up like a couple of like little things of like nylon on the wall. It's just
nylon.
Yeah, like this little white stretchy things, just to make it look like you're into someplace. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah. You gotta, when you watch it that way, it's like it's just getting cheaper and cheaper every season. Just put us back in a real place. You can rent out a space. This is the challenge. This is the challenge.
I agree.
Oh. We digress.
No, that was great. It's great.
Sorry, that's my
rant. So next we shifted to the zone, which I still think is so lame. Just call it the arena or something.
The zone.
Welcome to Discovery Zone. That's the
zone.
I think of.
My God.
Yeah. Auto Zone.
Zone.
Okay.
But anyway, so I know she does love it. She always pretends she doesn't love it, but she loves it.
She's always in the studio first.
Yeah,
listen, you're not wrong. I'm not going to say you're wrong.
Liar.
So we shifted to the zone, and really no surprise to me. I don't know about you guys, but Fessel and Mariah chose Raven and Johnny to automatically go into elimination. So this then left Olivia Horacio, Tommy and Annalise, and Kim and Colleen to have to pull daggers. And of course, we saw it coming a mile away.
The best happened.
Tommy and Annalise, they pull the safe dagger. So they had to make a decision if they were going to break their word to somebody. And it was Olivia and Horacio.
Mess.
I'm curious to you guys, to ask you guys though, like if they had chosen to save Olivia and Horacio and like broke their word to Kim and Colleen, would this have played out differently, you think? Like, because Olivia, was fired up right away, like, oh, look how much a deal means, like turning around to the rest of the cast. I mean, obviously there might have still been blowback, but I could see them skating by a little bit easier. If it was
I'm
Kim
not sure.
Colleen.
I don't know.
I could be totally wrong, but
I think they would have had it. I think it would have been slightly more evenly matched, but I still think Raven had so given up. I feel like her spirit was totally killed at this point. I didn't feel like she had much fight in her,
Well, she wasn't tying her shoes very well, I can tell you that. So
she wasn't. Happened more than once.
this elimination was wild, though. This was double decker, which was Hall Brawl with a twist.
With a twist.
Yeah, with a twist. Let's take a look. I wanted to have some visual aids.
Ooh.
So I got this picture here.
There
This
she
is our
is.
right.
Oh,
This
she
is
knows.
the double decker setup. What did you guys think of this elimination? What did you guys think?
Awesome. 3
Very
5
interesting,
stars.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Maximum
I
amount of
absolutely
stars.
love this. I absolutely love this. Yeah.
Amazing.
And so basically in this elimination, the bottom people started, right? They would go, and it wasn't, trying to get past each other to run out the other side. There was a bar in the middle, and each player had to run to the bar and then try to push it all the way to the other person's side. Once the bottom people finished, whoever won, their partner on top, their door in that tunnel would open a split second earlier, so they would have a little head start, a little bit of an advantage on their opponent to then get to that bar and keep pushing it to the other side. And really, it was whoever won on top is who got the point for their team. So if you lost on the bottom, it didn't mean that you had lost the point. It was played best of 3. Okay. First point went to Olivia and Horacio. Second point went to Johnny and Raven. So we had a tie, 1-1. Okay. And really, I have to say, I actually meant to put this up because this whole showdown was wild to me. Like, this is the 2 top rookie teams, I think, right? Jay and Michelle are up there, but I feel like Olivia and Horacio, Johnny and Raven have been the 2 top rookie teams at this point, performance-wise.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the little fight night rookie main event that we got here. This little graphic that they put up on the screen. Yeah, right. I like that.
Cute.
So one of the other things that really made me laugh, though, was that every round Raven's shoes fell off.
Literally every round.
And I was dying laughing at one point because Johnny Bananas just starts yelling, "What's wrong with her shoes? Why doesn't she put on her shoes?" Why doesn't she put her shoes on?
His face.
I think it was Jack. I'm pretty sure it was Jack, Laurel's partner, who followed up Johnny when he said, "Why doesn't she put on her shoes?" And Jack just goes, "Is she tying them terrible?" I was dying laughing.
I just feel like she was so checked out.
Yeah. Yeah, because even in this moment, she had a moment. They had a moment where she had a confessional, and she was kind of saying at this point, I'm just playing for myself because I feel so disrespected. It's like she could never get over the Johnny thing, the Johnny and Nerys, relationship, right till the very end.
Yeah.
But I have something else to show you guys. But first, it turns out Olivia and Horacio took it. They were fired up. Johnny and Raven were eliminated. So they're going home. I think we could see them again.
Oh,
would you want to see both of them?
Yes.
Would you want to see both of them?
Yeah.
Back? Right.
Yes, I would.
I agree.
Yep.
Especially if it's not a ride or die thing. Let's get them separate.
Yeah. I just like the fact that they were playing the game as game players, not just playing into the bets thing. They wanted to do their own thing.
Yeah.
They want to do what's actually good for them. I want to see them both back. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Very nice.
And I want to see Raven separate of Johnny. I want to see her play her own game.
Totally agree.
She was too wrapped up in all his business.
Yeah.
All right. Justice for Raven.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now here's something that I've added tonight that I wanted to share with you guys, because there was somebody in the cast that I was really enjoying watching during this elimination. She was a spectator. She's one of our favorites, actually. But I kept noticing her. I kept noticing her throughout the elimination, and I just had to go back and capture some screenshots because she was enjoying this elimination, I think, just as much, if not more, than I was. And that is Miss Laurel. Did you guys see how animated Laurel got during this elimination? Let's look at some of the faces that Laurel was making throughout this competition.
I don't pay attention.
Here's another one here. She was really into it, waving her arms. And then this one might be my favorite here. because I love everybody's faces in this.
Just the thought of you sitting there screenshotting each of these.
These are
Really
moments I
enjoyed it.
didn't even notice.
No, me
I
either.
really- I had to go back. I like watched it and then wait a minute. I was like, Laurel's faces have been really good for this.
This
I just
was-
wanted to share that.
Well, listen, I mean, they were right on. This is one of the most exciting eliminations I had.
It was a
seen
good
on
one,
season.
yeah.
This was very inventive. Definitely want to see this one back. I like it a lot.
Oh yeah, totally
Yeah.
agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, that. Oh well, not really. It doesn't really take us to the end because TJ was feeling friendly again at the end of this episode. So we had our final duo. At least we think it's our final duo, right? I think everybody's here now. Our final duo that was entered late into the game. Another duo of vets, of legends, Mr. Darrell and Miss Veronica. What do you think of their entrance into the game here?
Listen, I'm happy to see Darrell and Veronica. Always happy to see them, but this is not fair to the rookies. And it's really stacking everything against them.
Yeah,
They're
I
already
thought
having a
about
rough
that,
go.
yeah.
They're taking L's, and they just keep adding to the vet side. And
I
that's not
in
right.
this moment I was like, enough already. Like
Yes,
enough.
stop.
Stop adding people. Enough. I've had enough.
Yes, I would only now accept one more addition and put 2 new rookies in then,
yeah.
just to balance things out. Because, like,
You know, I've found this very frustrating.
yeah, enough now. I mean, well, we knew they were coming, so like it softens the blow slightly because we had already
Yeah.
seen them in trailers
But
and stuff.
still, it's
But
very
exactly. It's like,
annoying.
enough now.
Yeah. And it's not even like you could make the argument that, like, oh, if the rookies hadn't taken that shot week 1, then, the vets wouldn't be ganging up on them, because that's always how it goes. The vets always
Mhm.
talk. They always are going to work together and take out the rookies. So, like,
Of
you know,
course, that's the
it's not
game.
even like, right. And it's not even like you can look back at that week 1, though, and being like, oh, if only Johnny and Raven hadn't
Right.
done that week 1, they'd be good still. It's like, no, this probably still would have happened.
Yeah, you're
you know?
stacking it. You're stacking this all in the vet's favor, and I don't like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But that being said, I mean, I am happy to see Darrell. So, and I
Always.
love Veronica. So
Yeah.
just put them in from the beginning and make everything even. That's all.
Right. Just let everybody be in from
Yeah.
like we saw the cast list all at the same time. And we've just been rolling in half of them after the fact. Like just put everybody in day
Right.
1 and call it a day.
Just
Yeah.
let it be even. That's all.
I agree. I do agree.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the end of episode 3.
Mhm.
I was thinking in between episodes now we could talk TJ's threads and we could just do them all for both episodes. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Sure.
Okay. I actually have 4 pictures tonight.
No way.
4.
4.
I
Yeah,
didn't notice anything that he wore tonight. He's plain Jane.
yeah. I actually really liked his looks in these last 2
Did you?
episode.
Wow.
I
Let's see
did.
why.
I'm gonna try to go. They're all very different. Not very different, but they're different.
I was gonna say, in my head, he still just wears the same thing every episode.
Right.
I don't think I've
No,
ever.
you'll see.
paid
I'm
attention.
gonna disprove that. I'm gonna disprove that right now
Mhm,
with 4 fresh looks. I think they're good looks too. I'll see. We'll see what you guys say. But here is the look from the first daily challenge that we talked about tonight from episode 3. Okay, he's wearing a nice denim jacket here. I'm actually gonna take the caption down because I know that there's more to
Uh-oh.
this picture. There we go. All right. So we see TJ here. He's sporting a nice denim jacket. Underneath, he's got a white and blue striped shirt and some khaki pants. It looks like he's ready to go like out on the docks or something to me here, like go sailing or something. What do you think of this look, guys?
It's tepid.
I feel like he's never getting higher than a tepid. Like he just wears his clothes. It's fine. Whatever. I don't know how this is a segment for the challenge at all.
So this is
TJ clothes, man. I don't know.
it's a tepid for both of you. It's a tepid
Yeah.
for both of you.
Tepid
Okay.
Tej.
Okay. I'll give it I'll give it a tepid also. So our look from the first elimination from episode 3's elimination was this here. We had a nice nice red and black flannel, jacket here. Some, looks like some fleece on the inside or something maybe, and kind of like a yellowish shirt underneath. What do you think of this look here, guys?
It's tepid.
It's fine. I don't know, man.
All right, we got another tepid. Tepids
Yeah.
across the board. Two
Tepid
tepids.
Tepid tea.
I can't tepid tea, just too stupid. Okay.
Tepid tea is great. It's great. All right,
Yeah.
and now here is here's our look from
Oh,
the
man.
next daily challenge that we'll be talking about from episode 4. Okay, now this one I like this look, so I'm curious to see what you guys will think here. This episode featured some scarves from TJ. He was wearing some scarves. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We've got a nice blue jacket. It looks like a kind of an orange shirt underneath, and kind of a green scarf, wrapped around the neck there. What do you guys think about this look here?
I'll give this a hot.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I thought, you know what?
Okay.
I thought
this is
I
nice.
really, I was so ready for. You know what? I think I'd call this tepid. Like,
No, it's giving me Hallmark Channel Christmas.
That's nice. I like this look. I like this. This might be
I
my
like it.
favorite.
We're ringing in the
From the
season.
picture.
It's
okay,
episode, yeah.
okay.
Ah,
Gina, we got a hot from Kyle. Gina, what do you think?
Sure, let's go with Kyle.
The thing is,
I don't care
the
about
bar
what
is-
TJ's wearing.
yeah,
I
the
don't
bar
know.
is
I don't
lowered.
care.
The bar is lowered.
All right, and then our final look. This is episode 4's elimination. Okay, we've got another scarf, a black scarf. This looks like a kind of a burnt orange and a gray sort of flannel jacket here. What do you guys think of this look here? He's got the slicked back hair. What do you think? What do you think?
Whatever. Kyle.
It's a nod.
Ooh, a knot. What makes it a knot for you, as opposed to a tepid or something like that?
I don't know. It's not very. I prefer brighter colors.
Okay.
This doesn't do it for me.
All
Man,
right,
sorry.
Listen,
So
it.
you
Well-
can't win them all. Can't win them all.
we had a lot of different. We're all over the spectrum there.
I'm just gonna defer to Kyle for all of these. I don't know, man.
Wow.
The shirt's a
Jeez.
shirt's a shirt.
Come on, be an independent thinker. Come on.
Hey,
No.
I have plenty to say when we're talking about Julie. All right.
Wow. I'm gonna need the energy to
Wow.
Okay, let's get into episode 4 now. So at the beginning of this episode, we still had Darrell and Veronica coming in. I actually didn't realize that they both won the gauntlet. I'm sure I knew that if I went back and watched, I would. But like when they said it last, I was like, oh wow, they actually both won a championship on the same season, which I thought was interesting. TJ said they've known each other for like almost 20 years, so it's an interesting duo to bring in. Of course, this has to be planned that the episode Darrell comes into, the challengers are going 300 feet in the air.
Absolutely.
He said it too. He was like, TJ did this on purpose. I'm pissed about it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But okay. I'm trying to think if there was anything. Do you guys remember anything like before the daily challenge that you want to get into? The only thing I really remember was like Tommy and Annalise sort of trying to do damage control. We saw more of like Horacio and Laurel kind of being close or whatever. Kind of Horacio was talking about Laurel being somebody that he felt very comfortable around. And Laurel made a comment in this episode too that like every morning she wakes up, a shirtless Horacio is just a few feet away from her in the bed next door. So there were
a lot of like showmancy segments in this episode.
Yeah, this is a really horny cast. But I don't know, Kyle, as a Laurel stan for years, what do you think of this whole Horacio thing? Do you not care at all? Do you find it interesting? It just seems interesting. It's weird to me.
It feels strange to me. I
Right?
don't know
Does it
why.
feel weird?
Yeah, because it looks like she's all over him, and like that's just not really the Laurel I know. Like I don't know. It's very strange to me.
Is this like really out of character for her? Is she not like a showmancy person?
No?
Yeah.
I certainly don't know her to be. She had that weird relationship with Kara.
Yeah, she had a fling with Kara. Some sort of fling.
Some sort of something.
I do remember that. But
ill-defined.
yeah.
But that
But
was
other
like,
than that, I don't really remember anything
right,
else.
exactly, and it was still ill-defined. It was so. I don't know. To see her this way is just it seems out of character just because we've
Mhm.
never really like seen this.
Yeah.
Because even in the ill-defined Kara thing, we didn't see her in this way.
Yeah.
Being this like needy. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. This is very,
Right.
very strange. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I actually, so there's one other thing I want to bring up. I don't know if you guys will even care at all about this, but it was just something I noticed. Chauncey, Amber B's partner, made a comment about Amber in this episode, that Amber is seen, or at least he sees her, as the leader of the rookies. What do you think about that? I feel like we've seen no evidence of that whatsoever. I would have thought that it was, Horacio and Olivia, or Johnny and Raven, maybe like that kind of group, or even Jay and Michelle. But I haven't really seen any. Has Amber really kind of led the charge on anything? Maybe we just haven't seen it and it's been editing. But like, it was interesting to me that Chauncey referred to Amber as like the leader of the rookies, and then we sort of saw
It's
Amber
also
there
just
talking
like
to them.
she too is like one of those in between people. So like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see her as a vet, but I wouldn't call her a rookie either.
Right. And it could also be that we're not seeing a lot of those things because she hasn't actually been in power yet, but that doesn't actually mean
Mhm.
she's not making moves. And I could very much see her as the leader of the rookies for the very reasons that they did say. And for what we've been saying, she is in the middle there. She is, there's not as much respect put on her name as Fessy's. So Fessy can kind of start to play into that vet thing and maybe get a little back out of it. Amber, if she tried that, I don't think they would receive her. I think she would have a
Right.
better shot going to the rookies. It does make sense socially. Especially since you've got a group of rookies this time that are actually playing the game. That are not just
Right.
playing into what the vets are doing,
Yeah, and I'm enjoying
Just
that.
set her up
you know,
nice. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Just set her up nice.
Yeah. It's been so weird and lame to watch past seasons where it is so clear that the vets are just gutting for the rookies week after
Mhm.
week, and the
Yep.
rookies are just letting them do it.
Yeah,
Like
they're
this
"Diddly
season-
papa, boo, boo, boo."
Yeah. And it could have a lot to do with like the right mix of sort of vets that aren't really vets and are considered more like rookies. Because like, Amber B, like she's won the game. You have somebody like Jay who's been on a couple of years and has performed well at times, but like has always been targeted, so he always goes home.
Yeah.
And maybe it's having some strong rookies, that now the rookies feel more empowered or something like that. So I'm glad that it's kind of broken down this way.
I love it.
And then the last the last thing now before we get into the daily challenge, like we were already mentioning, all the challengers that were around the fire, they were drinking, and then it was just like this one after the other. Fessy and Colleen get into bed, Tori and Jordan get into bed, Nelson and Olivia get into bed. Like it's just one after the other.
I know it is no secret that I have opinions on Fessy. How is this man pulling this many women? I have so many questions. I find him insufferable. And I don't know how, because even we saw like in the beginning of the season, there were like 5 of them that he was like cycling through. And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah,
What's
I think it was
happening?
Bananas. I think it was Bananas that said he may be going by Fessel now, but he's still Messy Fessy. And then
I just
listed
don't
off, like,
get it. I don't get it.
yeah. I think he said that like Michelle was in Fessy's bed at one point, Colleen, Laurel, there was somebody else that he mentioned that I'm blanking on now, but Fessy's been busy.
I don't understand. I just don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Kyle.
Kyle, you got anything?
No, man. Listen, if he went that way, you would find me coming out of his bed too. I don't know what to tell you.
It's actually funny. Like on this season, what's actually
Whatever,
funny
man.
though is on this season itself, I haven't hated Fessy as much as I normally do.
Because they're not
I-
editing him in as much as they normally are.
Well,
We
maybe,
just aren't
but see-
seeing as much of him.
But I mean, we have seen him though. He won that last daily challenge. He had power. He was in that a lot, and like
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't been as bothered by Fessy on this season. But what's interesting to me is like this is just brought up in this comment. Like on this particular season, he's not bothering me. But before the season started, and even during the season, he's been tweeting, so much, and I'm like, that is the Fessy that I hate, that I know and hate.
Right. Listen, I'm not
the
saying
fact
that
that
he's
this
a great
man-
guy or anything. I'm just saying that like he
I
is
just will
hot.
never-
and I can
we'll never get past the
understand wanting
fact
to
that,
sleep
like,
with him.
This man who is known for like trying to have a career as a professional athlete and not doing it is sitting here on his couch talking about an NFL player who won his first season of the challenge. He's nothing impressive. I don't understand. Whatever. What do you mean? What do you mean? How are
No,
you,
he's an
who has
idiot.
won nothing,
His
gonna
first
sit here and
season
talk
of the-
shit about
of
Danny
the
McRae?
first season of the show that you have never won.
Right? Like Fessy
Yeah.
has won absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Mhm.
His ego is just wild to me.
Yeah. Man. Maybe he'll mature a little bit at some point. He'll grow up a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not.
No.
But anyway, enough of that. We can go on now to the daily challenge. And like, I kind of liked it, but like didn't also this challenge. Like it was kind of like fun. Just it's fun when they're up that high or whatever. This was called Hold On For Me. So basically, they were going in heats of either 2 or 3. Okay. And there would be one player that was sort of holding onto this bar. And their job was to hold on for as long as they could, because the longer you hold on, the better for your duo. Once the person that was holding on could not hold on any longer, their partner would then have to run and jump off the roof of this building, catch their partner, and the momentum from this would have to swing them backward. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate the demonstration. It would swing them backward. It would swing them backward, where they would then have to grab a
If you
flag.
are an audio only listener, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
honestly
God.
it was a very accurate depiction, Kyle.
Thank you.
I cannot.
Now, what was the other daily challenge that we had this season where literally like everybody failed? Because this was another one.
Was it this season or was it the Challenge USA? Because I know there was one that like Angela was the only person that could do it at all. Like there's like a couple of those.
It could have been
Yeah.
USA.
I might be mixing things up. Yeah, but anyway,
This was very hard. This is very hard. This is
Oh,
because you don't
yeah.
But, like,
get another shot. Like it's just
not
that's it.
fun to watch if no one can do it. If
Right.
I'm just sitting here watching everybody fail at a challenge, I'm like, I'm not having fun. I'm not enjoying watching this. It's
see,
not
I had a
exciting.
lot of fun with this one.
No one
I
can
thought
do
this-
it.
Yeah, but I always thought they could. Like I don't like I believed in everyone. I was like, no, it's gonna be this one. It's gonna be this one. Like I
Yeah.
felt like at least they edited it well. I'm disappointed to hear that you think otherwise.
I find it boring when literally no one can do it.
Yikes.
well, here's the
Yeah,
thing. For
I-
me personally, when everybody's failing one after the other, a little bit, I feel like, all right, come on, let's go now. But I like to see the people that do finish it. But then I also like to see some of like the spectacular failures. And we had some of those.
We
And
did
I'm
have
gonna
some of
bring
those.
I'm going to bring up this duo again, because I don't know if you guys know, but I have no idea what the hell Tommy was doing.
I knew that's where this was going.
Yeah, and I've got a little image here. So let's everybody was kind of swinging back, trying to get their flag. And this one, they actually came pretty close to getting their flag. Tommy,
They really did.
and they probably would have if Tommy wasn't doing this. So Tommy, literally all his weight going in the wrong direction.
He was flapping his low wings and having a grand old time.
Just arms
You know,
outspread.
I kind of feel for him though. You know, you've never done this. It's horrifying. You have to also think about how your body's moving. It's happening so fast. Like,
The
you
other
know?
thing about Tommy is that like Tommy is so teeny tiny. Like, did he really expect his limbs to be able to reach all the way back to the flag? I'd be like, I'm not serving any purpose here. You
See,
know?
I feel like
Yeah.
it would have been better though. I feel like if he had just like sort of gone limp and just let the momentum take him, because like when you look at this, Annalise clearly had a pretty good jump, and I know that Annalise is like an athlete, so like
She was really close too.
yeah. Look at how close her hand is to that flag,
Yeah.
and I can't help but think that if Tommy had just sort of like it looks like he's trying to get the team to go the other way, and Annalise is like trying to hold on for dear life and get this flag. And I just feel like if he had just like kind of I don't know, relaxed his body a little bit, and things would have gone better for them. But
I also like I can't help but wonder if it's like he's so used to like in his dance training, like having to like hold his weight while he's being lifted and like that kind of a situation where he was just like, oh well, this is how I hold my body weight. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Could be.
could
Because you're
be.
in the air.
Could be. He was the only one to do that,
Mhm.
whatever that was. But anyway, you had a lot of failures, except Jordan and Anissa. They were the first team to get their flag.
Looks amazing.
Oh yeah, Jordan is such a beast.
It looked so easy for them.
Yeah, and Jordan holding on with the arm that has no hand. He has no fingers there, and then grabbing with the other. Like,
Completely forgot about that.
yeah,
He's incredible. He's absolutely incredible.
I totally forgot about that.
it just adds such a whole new element to everything that he does. It's like, oh, we're going to switch it up, and it's like, right, of course, you're not going to be the one to hang.
Right, right.
You have to be the one to jump. So
Yeah.
like you just have to figure out a way, and he always manages. It's incredible.
He really is. Like
Just a beast.
he's a champion. He's on this season over and over again, and he constantly outperforms like so many of the other competitors, if not all of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he is just Jordan's such a beast.
And like someone like that makes it hard to like be sympathetic to anybody else because it's like, well, you're bad at this challenge, but he's doing better than literally everybody else, and he has so many setbacks. Like,
right?
Yeah.
How dare you? You're embarrassing.
So, the next team to get their flag, and the only other team, I think it was only these two, right? Was Nelson and Nerys. Now, this is a big deal. This is a big deal here.
Very big deal.
Right? So the challenge ended. TJ told us it came down to two teams, only two teams that got their flag. So Jordan and Anissa, Nelson and Nerys. And then TJ told us that for the first time in 54 daily challenges, it's been 54 daily challenges, Nelson gets a daily challenge win. He had a record, 54 straight competitions without a win.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, I was kind of looking around online, and people have been tallying this for a while because I saw something like I just kind of like Google searched Nelson Thomas daily challenge wins, and there were like things popping up on Reddit from like 2 years ago being like, Nelson hasn't won a daily challenge in 35 competitions. There was another one like Nelson hasn't won in 27 competitions. Like people have been keeping track of this for years. It's 54 challenges that he went without a win.
That's
the
so
longest
sad.
streak ever. Yeah, he has his own record though on the challenge.
But at
see
what
if anybody
cost?
ever breaks it. See if anybody ever breaks it.
I mean, hopefully not.
What if the person that broke it was Fessy?
Well, he's already won a challenge.
No, I'm saying, but like, what if he was the next one? Like now he didn't win for 56. Would you be happy with that?
Well, no, because that would mean we'd have to watch him compete that many times.
So you just never want to see him again is your thing.
Yeah, but that would still
Yes,
be
thank you.
different. That would still be different because Nelson was like never won ever.
Mm.
So Fessy could never really be in that category.
Well, from what I saw, Nelson actually has 9 total daily challenges in his career. It was just that he had won 8 and then went 54 competitions before his next win.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I was under the
I
impression
don't-
he had never won at all.
that was mine too.
right. From what I've seen on his challenge, like sort of profile page, he now has a total of 9 daily challenge wins in his career.
Gotcha.
He
Oh,
had
okay.
he had
So
just
he just had a break. He had a big break.
he had just gone so long without one.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I don't want to see Fessy go that long. Why are we being so mean to Fessy? I
Just
still
'cause
like
Just
Gina
don't like
hates
him,
Fessy.
Kyle.
I still like him. I like him.
Okay.
no.
I mean,
Alrighty.
yeah, it's just everybody's opinion. It's okay. It's fine. It's totally fine. Mhm.
Now, we had another club night now, and we saw sort of the makings of sort of like a plan here, right? Because obviously Nelson has really cozied up to Olivia,
Mhm.
but as a veteran, the other vets are going to be expecting him to target rookies, and not any rookies, but strong rookies, right? We had to send these. We just sent Johnny and Raven home. I'm sure people have their eye on getting Olivia and Horacio out.
Mhm.
And it was actually Olivia's plan to try to throw some people off, like, hey, Nelson, like, throw me into elimination. And then the whole plan was that Nelson and Nurys would not pick Olivia and Horacio to go in automatically. They would pick a different team. And whichever 2 teams were left, Nelson and Nurys would sort of try to work it so that both teams would agree to keep Olivia and Horacio safe if either one of them had pulled the safe dagger. What do you think of this whole plan? It kind of felt a little unnecessary to me, but it worked out in the end. I will say that. You
It
have an
just
opinion, do
felt
you not care?
it just felt extremely risky and like for not a huge reward. I don't know. It just didn't need,
Yeah.
just like you said, it didn't need to be.
It felt unnecessary because it was like at this point, Olivia and Horacio had already been into 2 straight eliminations, and I feel like Nelson kind of had the out. I feel like other vets would have understood, like, Olivia, this is my girl that I'm trying to like talk to or whatever and get close
Mhm.
with. And there are other rookie teams that they could have put in, and strong rookie teams too.
Right.
So I didn't really think that all this was like totally necessary.
And I mean, you know a lot of these people better than I do. Like, would they have seen it as a threat that he was so cozy with her? Because I know that her whole thing was like, I don't want us to be seen as a duo either.
Yeah, but I don't know. Not at this stage, especially not with Nelson, because Nelson does this. You know, like
Yeah, he keeps saying,
know.
"I love."
this is just like this is just kind of Nelson.
Yeah.
Um,
And we also saw, like, it's interesting. Like, we did see last in episode 3, Fessy, who, I mean, we've seen him with multiple women in this season, but like
mhm.
seems to be closer with Colleen, or I've heard people also refer to her as Colleen on this season now too. But
I don't know.
But they've been very cozy, and Fessy put her in. It didn't really seem to like be that worried about it. I don't know.
Well, because I mean, Fessy's with so many people, and everyone seems to know it.
Right,
like,
people
I mean-
put a lot less weight on that.
Right? Because there's so many less options for him. Somebody's
Yeah.
got to go in. And you just kind of know that about getting involved with him.
Yeah.
What did you think about some of the conversations in the interrogations?
Oh, well,
I
so
found.
so
are
let
we
me
not there when I'm sorry.
no. Well, I'll just
Rushing?
name the people that were in the interrogation. So
Oh, sorry. I already thought we
so-
were there.
Jumping the gun.
No,
jumping the gun.
no, not at all. Not at all. You're not jumping. We are there, but I'll just lay out. So, they ended up, Nelson and Nurys ended up putting Olivia and Horacio in because of this plan to try to get people to think they weren't really so close. He also decided to put Darrell and Veronica in vets, but they came into the game late. Annalise and Tommy, because everybody is, from last week, their move, nobody trusts them. And then Kim and Colleen / Colleen. And because Nurys just kind of said that they're easy names to say.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So what do you got, Kyle, about the interrogations?
So even though I don't think that the plan, sorry, I didn't think we were going to get to me that soon.
I'm sorry. Well, here, so before as you're chewing, I will say, it was interesting to me. Like, did you see the reaction to like Nelson actually putting Olivia in? It was bigger than I expected. Jay,
everyone was like, "That's freaking wild."
Right? Like Jay called Nelson a savage for hooking up with Olivia and then throwing her into the zone. Bananas was like, "Wow, even I wouldn't do that," which it surprised me the reaction that people had to Nelson putting Olivia in. I don't know, especially when you like we said, like Fessy just threw Colleen in. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's not like Nelson was the first person to put somebody in the zone that he's hooking up with. You know what I mean?
But again, I feel like you'd expect something like that from Fessy.
Sure. But I just feel like, that type of thing is not, it just happened. It's not unprecedented. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
So what did you think though, Kyle, of the interrogations?
Well, Nerys. So the way she navigated through some of these conversations in there, even though this plan that they had to kind of keep Horacio and Olivia safe was kind of like unnecessary, she still steered these conversations in a very, very like good way. And that was it. That was just an observation. I'm excited to see what she does more socially because she's smart.
Oh, I was very invested in her conversations.
Yeah. She really seamlessly got the conversation there to them. Oh, if you pull the safe one, just, just because of the way the numbers are going, she just sounded like she was so on your side.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a friendly feeling conversation. And she's like manipulating the hell out of you.
And that's why, we'll get there, but it really got under my skin to see people like giving Nelson so much credit for this. And I'm like, it was all her. Yes. That was all her.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I want to ask a question. So the Tommy and Annalise thing, right? Because I will say, like, she straight up just said to them, like, they're untrustworthy. They've screwed people over. Like, that was the one conversation that felt a little, tense to me. And I just, what do you think of the blowback that Tommy and Annalise got from this move? Because, like, it's not like this is the first time that we've seen somebody screw someone else over or go against their word. And it felt like what they did was, like, highlighted a lot. And when I even look at Nelson, right, like, him and Fessy have a big history. You know what I mean? Like, Fessy broke his word to Nelson, put him into elimination, got him sent home. Nelson didn't even really seem to like give a thought to like putting somebody like Fessy in. But what's interesting to me is that like Nelson, he wouldn't stop going on and on about how like, oh, Tommy and Annalise made the worst move. Nobody trusts them and this and that. And I'm like, so Nelson is like, he seems to be harping more on a move that Tommy and Annalise made against another duo, as opposed to like going after somebody that even broke their own word to him. I don't know. It just felt like I get why they're getting blowback. I get why people don't trust them and they want to see Tommy and Annalise go into elimination. I just feel like it's not like this is the first time that we've seen this where somebody like went against their word. And it just feels like this is a lot of blowback for Tommy and Annalise.
I mean, granted, I don't know. I wasn't watching during the whole like Fessy piece of it, so I don't know if this was the same situation or different, but I think I would argue that it's partially like Tommy and Annalise have never been on the challenge before, have no concept of how the challenge works. Like, so their first thing that they did was screw somebody and like make double deals and like stand by it. And then when push came to shove of having like, he was even saying like, you haven't really owned it. And when push comes to shove, like, I'm sorry, you've just seen so much of them like crying and trying to deflect and trying to like whatever. And it's like, no, like you did the thing. You have to like the fact that you keep trying to deflect and be like, no, like but I didn't mean it that way, but you did it. Just own it and move on. I feel like a lot of the reason why it's continued to blow up is because they keep trying to do damage control and going from person to person to person and crying and what do I do and how do I fix the problem, that like they just weren't really handling it well. I don't know.
I hear you, and I can agree with that. But like, my thing is because this thing with Fessy happened several years ago, so I don't. But
was he brand new to it? Like, was it his first challenge?
I don't remember if it was his very first challenge, but it was very, very early on in his challenge career, and what he did led directly to Nelson going home. You know what I mean? So it's like Nelson's still there sitting pretty right now. He's freaking out over something that Tommy and Annalise did to a different duo that he's not even in. I don't know.
Well, I mean, listen, there was a lot of blowback that Fessy got for doing that to Nelson. Like they didn't get back on track like right away. There was a road to that. And Tommy and Annalise, right out of the gate, before you've built any relationships at all, like you had absolutely nothing to go back on.
It was the first thing they did in the game at all.
Period. They had no allies whatsoever. And then
Kim and Colleen, maybe. Because they saved them.
No. So, it kind of didn't surprise me. Yeah, they had this coming. They really did.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I'm not surprised by it. It was just an interesting little thing that I wanted to kind of talk about with you guys. So
no, sure, yeah.
But yeah, so
what else we got?
I guess this pretty much takes us, into the elimination.
Yeah.
I do have one question though, because there is one thing to me about the whole plan that like Olivia and Nelson had put into motion. Like, oh, let's Nelson throw me in, and then people will think we're not really as close as we are, because it was just I maybe I should go back and rewatch the conversations. But like, what was interesting to me was that like they wanted to make everybody think that Nelson and Olivia weren't as close, and that Nelson was a savage for throwing Olivia in. We saw Jay reacting to it and Bananas reacting to it. But then, like, in the interrogations themselves, like, Nelson and Nurys were telling, Darrell and Veronica, oh, if you pull the safe dagger, save Olivia and Horacio. And they said the same thing, Kim and Colleen. And I'm thinking to myself, well, can't Darrell just go to the rest of the house now and be like, yeah, they told us to save Olivia and Horacio. So, like, it's really just kind of a ploy. Like they are really close. They're trying to throw us all off. And you know what I mean? Like, that whole thing felt a little weird to me too. Like, this whole plan that they put together, trying to throw off suspicion. And then they're just telling 4 people in the house, like, oh, like, we don't actually want Olivia in. So like, if either of you pick it, just keep her safe, which guarantees her safety, because either Olivia and Horacio will pull for safety themselves, or the other 2 teams will keep them safe. And they're definitely not going to be the ones that Nelson and Nurys choose to go into elimination. So it just felt like, what was the point of this whole plan? Like,
right. Yeah. I don't know.
Mm.
But whatever. So yeah, this brings us into the elimination. Tommy and Annalise chosen automatically for elimination. No surprise there. And I believe then it actually was Olivia and Horacio that chose the safe dagger. So didn't have to make any deals anyway. And after all was said and done, Kim and Colleen were chosen to go into elimination against Tommy and Annalise. Alrighty. So again, 2 rookie teams down in elimination. So vets are safe for another week. This elimination was called Flipping Wasted. And in this elimination, we had 2 mud pits next to each other. There was sort of like a metal board on top of the mud pit. And one partner in the duo would have to lay on this board. And the other partner in the duo had a rope that they would now have to pull to lift their partner up so that they were high enough to reach this puzzle that they had to solve. This could have been a good elimination. I did not have fun watching this elimination.
It was a really tough watch.
Yeah.
This is painful.
Yeah.
It was really hard.
What do you guys do you have any thoughts? I don't even know what to say about this. Like, Kim and Colleen, obviously, they did pretty well. Tommy and Annalise,
Tommy
really never
was
got started.
so in over his head on this. Like, he didn't stand a chance on this elimination.
No.
Yeah. This was rough. Yeah. I mean, literally, there was not even a second in the competition that Annalise even had a chance to even touch the puzzle. Because Tommy just couldn't get her up.
You could see him continuing to get so like, he was literally looking around like, what do I do? I'm not even getting her off the ground. Like, what do I do?
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It was so
to
painful.
the point where his competitor was trying to help him. It was bad.
That's right. That's right. I literally wrote that down too. I was like, Kim starts encouraging his opponent, Tommy. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was so hard to watch.
Like, clean your shoes. Clean your shoes. Awful.
Yeah. This,
Because again, Tommy's just not built for a challenge like this, like there was no way that he was gonna.
Right. This was so hard to watch too, because we've seen eliminations in the past where one team starts really dominating, but maybe the other team does something to kind of keep them in it for a little bit, and like with the editing, you can make it look, exciting, like it was a little closer than it was maybe. There was never a point where Tommy even had her close enough to even move one single puzzle piece. So it was just one of those things where like, this is really sad. I don't want to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, somebody stop this.
It went on for so long. It felt like
I know.
so
like,
long.
She kept encouraging him. Everyone up top kept encouraging him, and he just got more and more frustrated as it went on. And I was like, just like get one, like get her up for a second.
Yeah.
I think he was just too in his head. Like I think he could have done this. Maybe they wouldn't have won, but I think he could have definitely done better if he wasn't so in his head. In his own head.
Just kept splashing in the mud too, because it was up and down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
She would get just high enough to splash it. Like, oh.
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
Oh, but so Tommy and Annalise were eliminated. Yeah, it struck me a little bit here. It seemed like even with the drama of their move, people really liked Tommy and Annalise in the house, I think. I thought some of the other challengers were still very nice and encouraging, and shouting nice words.
We saw that on Big Brother too. Is that like Tommy was the heart of the house his season? Like he just has that kind of a personality. So it doesn't surprise me that everyone on the show like kind of fell in love with him.
Yeah, and I'm sure in that moment it's got to be so difficult. Like that you're like, this is going to be on TV. A lot of people are going to see this. It's kind of an embarrassing moment. You're letting your ride or die down because your game is ending. And Tommy was very emotional. He was crying. What did you think of what TJ said? I thought this was kind of nice. TJ kind of said,
I loved
that,
it.
like, right, Tommy crying, like the way that he got so emotional and was crying, like it shows that he actually cares and that the game means something to him. Like, and TJ said that he hopes to see both Tommy and Annalise back. Do you think we'll see them both back?
I mean, it's like we see TJ say so often, like when we, like based on past seasons of what we've seen, like there's nothing that he hates more than people who just quit, people who give up. Like he wants somebody with a fire under them, with a spirit to compete. He doesn't like people that quit. He doesn't like people that gives up. So I wasn't surprised that he was so moved by how emotional Tommy was, because it showed that like maybe more than anybody else here, he just cares so much about wanting to do a good job and wanting to fight and wanting to compete. I can imagine most people in that position would have been like, fuck it, I'm done, I'm out, whatever. And even like to the last second of the competition, he was like, no, I'm going to pull this rope. Like, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we saw, that's one thing that you can say for Tommy. He did not perform well in this elimination, but he never gave up, and he never even thought about giving up. And I'm blanking on the name right now. Kyle, help me. All Stars 3. We saw somebody quit in an elimination. Do you remember who it was? It was that high up one where they had to push the things through, and she jumped off. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
Oh.
I can picture her face.
Blonde.
I remember this.
She's the one that came back. Oh my God.
I'm blanking on it. Beth.
I was
quit
like,
in
I
the
wanted to
middle
say
of an
Mary.
elimination.
I'm like, it's not Mary.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Brett said Beth.
Brett, what's up, Brett?
Thank you.
Brett also had a question. Brett had a good question.
Ooh, okay.
About Tommy's elimination here. What if he went off that metal square to get closer on the rope? DQ, let it slide. It did look like he had stepped off a moment or two.
Well, there was
a point where it looked like he was trying to use the back of his foot on it to like give him like leverage or something to like lean on, and then it also looked like he stepped over it to try to just like grab it and then pull it back.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what the rules were around like staying on this little platform, but I did also hear somebody yell to Tommy at one point, like, "Oh, dig your heel in like at the back of the thing,
Mhm.
like use it like to sort of anchor yourself." I never saw him actually do that. I don't remember like if it was mentioned in the rules that like you can't step off of this
I don't remember
metal
hearing that either.
square platform.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't remember it either.
But I don't know. Maybe we'll see Tommy and Annalise again.
Maybe.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing them again. I also want to see these people back again, but not working together. Like I want to see all these people come back and get to play separately. They'll still work together and have their alliances, but like I want this to be, I like the duos and having a season that has pairs. I do like that, but I like this cast in general. I think this is a good cast,
Mhm.
and I would like to see a lot of them come back when they're not tied to another person that they have to work with. But yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have differing opinions, Kyle?
I don't really care about Tommy or Annalise. I'm sorry. Unpopular opinion.
They were they were ill prepared. This was not their game.
Like well, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not even necessarily saying because too small. I just don't think this is his. This is not his game.
Neither of them are really that kind of competitor. We saw them on Big Brother, and neither of them were particularly like physical challenge kind of people. They worked their way through the social elements. But that's not enough
I do wonder about Annalise a little bit though, because she was like a D1 college athlete, right? Wasn't she like a soccer player or something?
Mm-hmm.
I could see her doing pretty well on some of these.
I mean, maybe she could. I just don't. I don't know. She's just not enough of a character to me. I just don't really care about her. She doesn't.
Yeah.
She's not exciting to me.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry,
Annalise. Sorry. But
she's very pretty.
She is. She's very pretty. Very pretty. But yeah, there was they were so out of their element on this game, and maybe they would be different if they. I agree, Brett. Brett says Annalise Solo could hold her own. I do agree with this. I think that she would do pretty well.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, she would do well. She would. Yeah.
Listen, when you think about it, she technically has the same resume as Fessy. College athlete, Big Brother loser, now on the challenge. They literally have the same resume.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I don't doubt that she can do well. I just yeah. She can come back.
They were so out of their element on this season. Like maybe it would be different if they came back and had a season under their belt. But even just to talk, like there was a lot of conversations they had privately, being like, "Oh, we have to get rid of this Big Brother stigma," and like there's other Big Brother players in there, and like sure, like we did see some comments from some of the players, like after Tommy and Annalise made that move. I know Devin at one point was like, "Wow, that's so Big Brother," and Nani was like, "Yeah, that's definitely Big Brother." And I actually remember I saw Casey like kind of look at Nani like,
"What the hell, man?"
Right, but like you don't really hear like a lot of talk from the Big Brother players. I think they don't want to bring it up, and it felt like Tommy and Annalise couldn't get over the fact that like, oh, there's this Big Brother stigma, and people are gonna just have a certain view or opinion of us right off the bat automatically. Yeah, why are you laughing, man?
I was choking.
Joking?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh no.
But see, the other Big Brother players though are not really playing Big Brother-y.
Yeah.
So I don't even really. I remember like they're always Team Big Brother, but like they don't really play like that. So they're kind of melding into the way the challenge is played, with a little bit more of that honor and respect and like kind of stuff in there too. Tommy and Annalise just went the whole other direction,
Yeah. That's a shame. That's a shame. But so the next on that we got for this, it looked like they're, again, make allowances here, take everything with a grain of salt. 911, my friend Kyle, says Matt Clevens.
I was scared for a second.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, what are you laughing at?
So, on the next and like I said, take everything with a grain of salt, because who knows how they edit these things. But on the next it looks like we could be seeing maybe some drama between Laurel and Michelle. Possibly, it looks like they had a little fiery conversation. It looks like our next challenge will be on the water. All right, on the water. We're gonna be getting wet in the water, and Darrell seems pretty fired up about something, So I'm excited to see what's got Darrell, fired up. And those are the things that I'm looking forward to for next week. Now, that is all that I have for these 2 episodes. Do you guys have anything else for the benefit of the community?
No,
I don't think
do
so.
not.
Okay.
I do not.
All right.
It's been fun.
Well, I guess I guess we can start wrapping it up. What do we have coming up? I think we have something exciting happening on Saturday. We have not actually said anything about or announced. Won't actually say what it is here.
It's undisclosed.
Right. Because there are still details to iron out. But Saturday at 2 p.m. we may have something very exciting happening, which we will of course announce on the socials if it's 100% set in stone. And then what's that? What do you got? Nothing? Okay. All right. I didn't know if you wanted to add something, but so Saturday, possibly 2 p.m. we might have something very exciting going on with a special guest. On Monday, we will be back to talk about Survivor, right? We talked about Amazing Race this week. So on Monday, we'll be talking the last 2 episodes of Survivor. Very exciting. And then next Thursday, and that Monday, that'll be 9:30 p.m. that we'll be talking Survivor. And then next Thursday, we'll be talking the next episode of the Challenge 38, Ride or Dies, also at 9:30 p.m. And that's what we have on the docket for the upcoming week.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Now,
once again, if you want to find us on the socials, if you are so inclined, you can do so at StratChatPod. That's on Instagram and on Twitter. Also, go on, head over to our website. Kyle worked really, really hard on that. And that is StratChatPod.com. You did. All right. We have a website. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Go, Kyle.
StratChatPod.com. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, watching, listening. We love you guys. And we are going to see you very soon to be talking about all of our favorite reality TV shows. Have a great night. Goodbye.